Hey everybody, thanks for joining me on Life and Surround. Sorry, it's been a while. I am personally recovering from COVID and I'm also caring for some sick family members. So just there hasn't been a lot of energy around here and my head hasn't felt good enough to listen to music at reference volume, and I just haven't had a voice and all that. So I've also been working on my own music, and in the last few days, particularly on a song about a very important current event. And I'm going to play a clip of that for you just so you can hear what I've been up to, and we can enjoy it together for a second. Well, hopefully you enjoy it.
You didn't sound the sirens. There's blood on your hands. There's blood on your hands. You didn't send the water. There's blood on your hands. There's blood on your hands. You didn't fight the fire. There's blood on your hands. There's blood on your hands. You didn't stop the slaughter. There's blood on your hands. There's blood on your hands. You didn't sound the sirens.
Yeah, so there's some super sad and evil stuff happening in this world, and I don't know, it would just feel false to me not to address it. Some of my current music work is going to be very personal, PTSD, stuff like that. But I just feel like it would be irresponsible for anyone right now creating music to just focus on themselves. The working class in the United States is just being sucked dry by the ruling class, and it's time to say something about it. So yeah, a bit of a protest song. It's called Sirens. It's about what is happening in Lahaina, Maui. And I think there's a lot of mistakes that have been made, but I think there's a lot of evil going down too. So seek out as much independent media coverage as you can, although it's like starting to be heavily restricted. And don't trust corporate media. Just don't. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just so upset over what's happening in Maui that it really challenges my desire to even talk about commercial music. I think there are just so many vitally important things to be interested in and to be supporting in the world right now. But I remain steadfast that enjoying beautiful music is one of the most redeeming qualities of this life. So the musical arts must be supported, and to the extent that we all can, that we continue to have income that we can devote toward it, I will keep doing my part. So let's get to the commercial stuff. And I apologize for my voice, but it is what it is. So I promise. I am working on a review of 13th Star by Fish. I have finally heard and seen all of the material in the set. I've read through most of the book. It is fascinating. And I do plan to give a full review. I just want to say, I believe this is only available from Fish's store, which is kind of annoying, but maybe fitting in the sense that Fish is kind of their curmudgeon-y, get off my lawn, old man of rock stars. So anyway, there's a lot of material here. There's a live video concert. There is audio live material. There are outtakes, acoustic versions. The album in Atmos is really well done by Avril McIntosh and Andy Bradfield. Hey, Avril. And so this gets my recommendation, and I want to do a proper review soon. Okay. Also recently, I picked up the expanded and restored version of the Ziggy Stardust concert. It upgrades, from this DVD. And so you now have a few extra cuts, the ones featuring Jeff Beck. For instance, this looks great, sounds great. It is just as tame a live mix as it ever was. In fact, I think the only tracks that have been remixed for this are the ones that have been added to the set list. So it's band up front, auditorium in the surrounds, but this is such an important concert, and it's so worth putting on, the biggest screen that you can, the most thundering sound system that you can, and just go for it. Play it loud. Play it loud. They'll make Mick Ronson proud. All right, and so let's move ahead with stuff I don't have yet. Zappa, the Zappa estate is releasing Overnight Sensation, features Atmos and the original Frank Zappa quad mix. So this is an absolute must for me. I'm only seeing it at the Zappa store right now, but Zappa releases tend to get pretty wide distribution, so we should be seeing it show up at the usual retailers and discounters. All right, so that's a total must for me. All right, we have Steven Wilson, the Harmony Codex, THC. Some versions are already selling out, such as those that have signed items, but there are still super deluxe versions available. And there's a standalone Blu-ray, so that's very fortunate. The standalone Blu-ray does not feature the instrumental mixes of the album. And the super deluxe edition also has an exclusive CD, a reimagined version of the album with a lot of guest artists. So the instrumental mixes of the album and that bonus CD are exclusive to the deluxe box. And having heard, the first preview track, Economy of Scale, I have to say I'm steering toward the standalone Blu-ray on this one. I don't find it to be an exciting track. It's just okay. So we'll see, as I believe another preview track is releasing next week, and that is said to be a more ambitious work. So maybe he started out very lean and basic on us to, just get our expectations just way down there. And I'm hoping that this album is hyped to be just genre spanning. So I'm hoping he has way more in store for us, and we shall see. One way or another, that album drops next month. So we are less than a month away from a new Steven Wilson record, and it's always extremely interesting, to say the least. I don't always like them, but I'm definitely in for the ride. I want to experience the Atmos mix of this album, bare minimum. And whatever ways you decide to celebrate this album, I'm very happy for you, and I hope you will share your experiences with Life in Surround. So whether you do the box, the Blu-ray, LPs, whatever. All right, Nektar, Remember the Future, is being released by Cherry Red. This is going to feature the classic quad losslessly on Blu-ray, and then also a new 5.1 mix. It's unknown how good that 5.1 mix is or not, so at least we get the classic quad. I'm pretty excited about this. This is a core album for many lovers of quad and surround, so this is very cool. I am definitely looking forward to digging into this one. I wouldn't say that's quite a must for me, but it's a will purchase at this point. All right, Bruce Soord, Luminescence. It's a Kscope art book set. It's releasing awfully close to the new Steven Wilson record, so very cool to have Steven Wilson and Bruce Soord new material in our homes in the same month, like about a week apart. Unfortunately, Kscope isn't greenlighting Bruce Soord solo albums for Blu-rays yet, so this set is going to feature a Lossy DVD. It's going to top out at 5.1. Hopefully someday Kscope will reconsider and maybe at least put out like a Bruce Soord retrospective. Now he's got 3 solo albums, so it could be time soon, or maybe, after 4 or 5 records. I would really love to have a physical copy of Soord's material, lossless, and then like also the highest level mix. He probably did this record in Atmos for himself, so I would just love to see that get released someday. And pure speculation, he may have just done 5.1, but I'm excited for a new Bruce Soord album in under any circumstance, and I'm going to be enjoying that. I have absolutely adored his first two solo efforts. All right, who's next? The massive set is releasing soon, I think around my birthday, so within a couple of weeks. Yeah, a couple of weeks from now. So definitely looking forward to that. I have not seen any word as to whether the Blu-ray will receive a standalone release. These things don't always. And if not, I'm just really, really sorrowful for fans who really would love to hear the Steven Wilson Atmos mix of this iconic record. So I hope that it will receive a much more affordable release in the future. Now, speaking of that, I took one for the team and bought the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon 50th set so I could like show it off and help everyone decide, whether they truly wanted to purchase it or maybe hold off, maybe see enough of the set that they're, satisfied the itches have been scratched. And Pink Floyd Records is releasing Dark Side of the Moon 50th as a standalone Blu-ray. So go and get it. Go and get it. I really, really love the fresh Atmos mix of the album. It to this day is one of my just most transcendent immersive audio experiences. So I'm glad to see that it is being put out there at a minimal cost. So no more excuses. Go grab it. And I hope you enjoy it. Peter Gabriel I.O. Peter Gabriel has been releasing new music like every new moon. This Moon Cycle project, and he releases a stereo original version, a stereo remix, and then an Atmos remix. I think we have 2 more songs to go, so maybe we're gonna hear about an album announcement like around November. Hard to say, but I have held off on auditioning any of this material just because in this day and age, preview tracks and singles have tended to kind of like push me away from records rather than draw me in. I'm not really sure why, but a friend finally convinced me to go at least listen to the title track in streaming Atmos. And so I did yesterday, and my mind was absolutely blown. It is the most stirring and beautiful and effective, immersive piece of music that I've heard in a long, long time. In terms of pop, I mean, like, there's stuff by 2L that's just so incredibly beautiful. It doesn't even compete. But in terms of, stuff with an explicit beat and, vocals and stuff, holy crap. Peter Gabriel I.O. If the rest of the album is even nearly as strong, this could be a masterpiece. I am that impressed with the title track in Atmos. So why don't you let us know what you think about the I.O. project so far? Have you heard everything? Have you ignored everything? Have you heard a little bit like me? And what do you think? I sure hope that it receives a Blu-ray release. That's my only That's my only qualm here. Come on, Pete, please do it. Release it on Blu-ray. All right. Sony Japan, the 7-inch series of super audio CDs where they package it in 7-inch artwork. It gives more breathing room than, that traditional jewel case CD size package. Doesn't take up as much space as 12-inch. And Sony Japan, they always do just a really amazing job on all of the artwork included. I am very excited that they've announced the Santana McLaughlin album, Love, Devotion, Surrender. It has a classic quad mix that I have in my collection on vinyl. I just haven't ever taken the time to spin it. And now maybe I never will, because it's going to be presented losslessly on Super Audio CD, quadraphonic style from Sony Japan. And I like to purchase Sony Japan stuff from CD Japan, and I like to do even numbered items because it keeps the shipping down. So I've been sitting on the original quadraphonic version of Super Session, which was announced not too long ago, maybe about a month ago. So now I have the 2 items to put in my cart. So I'm going to grab Super Session and Love, Devotion, Surrender. Very, very much looking forward to both. And I am so thrilled that we have an original quad mix rescued and brought into the Super Audio CD realm in the form of Super Session. And then also the same thing with Love, Devotion, Surrender, with the added excitement that shows that Sony Japan is continuing their Santana rollout, because there are more classic quads to go. So I hope they'll eventually get them all out. All right, the Yes album. I'm glad that it's being reissued. I'm glad that Steven Wilson has done an Atmos mix. This particular release raises a concern for me that we may be entering what I'm beginning to think of as like the Atmos upgrade era, where for those of us who may already have really delightful 5.1 mixes of really stellar albums, such as the Yes album, that we're gonna be enticed to upgrade all of these CD Blu-ray, these CD DVD sets that we already have. And, maybe the only compelling new addition to the set will be an Atmos mix. Feels a little bit like planned obsolescence to me. Like, it wasn't that long ago that a good many of us invested in as many of these Yes surround series, box set on a Blu-ray format CD Blu-ray sets as were offered. And now I get the sense that they're just going to roll right back through the catalog and put out these expanded sets with Atmos. Now, I'm hearing from people I trust that the Atmos mix of the Yes album is incredible and is to be considered a sonic upgrade above the 5.1. I'm in the camp of people who think that the original 5.1 sounds just awesome. And given that there is a bit of a steep price for this set, it really makes me think, do I really need to hear the Atmos that bad? Or have I heard the Yes album enough in my life? Does the 5.1 suffice for me? Is curiosity going to get the better of me? Anyway, and then this is just the tip of the iceberg. We have XTC, Jethro Tull, just, any recent 5.1 offering that you can think of. Is it just going to be, entered into the Atmos upgrade cycle? Probably. But I'm a huge fan of Blu-ray releases of amazing albums, that have good Atmos mixes. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I want to have my cake and eat it too, or, you know, I should be careful what I wish for, type of thing. So why don't you weigh in? You know, do you see the era of Atmos upgrades coming? And, you know, if so, like, how do you feel about it? Are you in no matter what for albums of interest, or are you going to hold tight with your 5.1? I really would love just to get the collective wisdom on this one. All right. So speaking of Blu-ray releases of albums I'm excited about, we have Duran Duran, Danse, Macabre, Bob Clearmountain, Atmos mix. So you have a favorite band of mine. I went and auditioned the title track on AppleMusic in Atmos, and I think it just sounds fantastic. And it definitely scratches enough musical itches for me that I want to hear the rest of the record. I consider this a much stronger preview track than Economy of Scale by Steven Wilson by comparison. And Bob Clearmountain is absolutely among my total favorite multi-channel mixing engineers. He is in my pantheon of multi-channel mixing gods. So Bob Clearmountain mix, Duran Duran album. It's being put out by Super Deluxe Edition. This is part of the SDE Surround series. So it's standalone, it's minimally priced. And my advice is go grab it if you like Duran Duran at all, or if you love Bob Clearmountain mixes and are completist on that, or otherwise, you know, go audition the title track, see if you like it. Prince, Diamonds and Pearls. So this is a kind of an odd one for me to just feel like I have complete information on. There's a super deluxe set that I believe has 7 CDs and a Blu-ray. That Blu-ray has live content, some of which is mixed into Atmos. But I believe in order to hear the album itself, the studio album mixed into Atmos, you have to get that standalone Blu-ray audio, okay? So a completely separate package. And I don't know if that Blu-ray audio is exclusive to SDE, to Super Deluxe Edition, but that's the only place I'm seeing it. So that is, in my opinion, among the stronger Prince records. And so that's a must for me. I have to hear Diamonds and Pearls in Atmos. Total must. All right. And that brings us really close to the end of immersive audio news for the time being. But hot off the presses, I have just learned that the Tragically hip Phantom Power is being released in a 3 CD Blu-ray clamshell set. Phantom Power is an incredible record by one of my all-time favorite bands, The Hip. And man, oh man, I hope that this is a killer Atmos mix. This is such a great record. It's got that song, that one that everybody knows, and it is a great song. So I'm looking forward to that and the whole album as well. So that was very, very happy news. I love The Hip, and to see their albums get the immersive lossless Blu-ray treatment is a very exciting and happy thing. All right, so I appreciate you watching. As always, I ask, if you like what I do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, ring the notification bell so that you can just receive news as early as I can get it to you. Happy hunting for titles that you're interested in, happy shopping, happy auditioning music that you choose to check out. And yeah, I just wish happiness and health for each and every one of you. These are troubled times, but there is still a lot of beauty and joy in this life. At least there can be. So my heart goes out to anyone who has just experienced total tragedy lately. There are people who no longer have their homes, who no longer have their loved ones, who no longer have their lives. And so it's an immense privilege to even be able to discuss glorious commercial music. It really is. And so I don't take that for granted. So anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And until next time, do what you can to live life in surround.